And we are live.
Hello, welcome to our Facebook Live. I'm Samantha Brown and this is Kevin O'Leary. We are executive producers of the Emmy Award-winning travel series Places to Love, which airs on your local PBS stations across the United States. And this Facebook Live, we are all about showing an episode from a previous season and sharing it with you, our community, and then giving you a more behind-the-scenes look at the creative process, the pre-production process, basically the effort that no one sees that goes into filming an award-winning travel series. And we love joining you. Our community's become so strong. We started this way back in the pandemic days, and it was just something that we both loved. And we're so glad that most of you have stuck around. You know who you are.
That's right. You know who you are.
Mark is in the house. Hello from Columbia, Maryland. Mark, what shows have you seen that we haven't actually aired yet? But you somehow in Columbia, Maryland get Columbia, Maryland gets the jump on all the shows, which is fantastic. Yeah. We love you for that.
Somehow.
We love that someone is more in the know than we are of our own shows. So I'm glad that you're joining us today.
I didn't tell you this. Superfan Duncan McPherson sent an email the other night that he recognized Matt from the Melbourne episode from your Travel Channel episode you did in London. That was the last time you saw Matt.
Oh my gosh, Duncan. That's incredible. Yeah. You are so right. Yes, we had a Pimm's Cup together in a London pub, and that makes you, Duncan, a special super fan. Yeah. Super fan. My gosh, we got to do something really special for
Easter
Duncan.
egg super fan.
Oh my gosh, yes, absolutely. Yeah, he was. Wasn't it great seeing him? I love Matthew Sheehan. He is one of the best people I've ever known, and literally, I just heard about Melbourne, Australia through him, and so I was glad that he could join me for that episode. But I got to see his wife again, who they were only dating when we were all living together, and when he was my roommate, and his children. He has 3 beautiful children. So it was such a great, full circle moment.
I got to say something. Happy Mardi Gras and Carnival.
Oh, when is that? Oh,
it's today.
Is it begin today?
Yes, Tuesday.
Nice.
So you could just imagine the partying happening in New Orleans right now, in Rio right now, in my favorite, Port of Spain, Trinidad. That's where I went for Carnival. Pretty epic stuff. It's a fun day, and it all stops tomorrow on Ash Wednesday.
That's right. That's right. I guess that's right. Party hardy.
Like it never happened.
Yep. We still have Kevin's Mardi Gras, and I'm sorry, a Carnival outfit from Trinidad somewhere in the storage. It's if anyone ever found that, they would be like,
epic.
What?
I went around in a band and performed, and it was
You grinded, right? You whined.
This is a family show.
Okay, sorry. There's no one here under 50, for God's sake.
I'm holding out that there's one 15-year-old person that
who has to watch this because of
that the ratings would be blown up if we said or did something that would be above and beyond that. But we can't keep secrets very well, and we teased out that we have a very special guest that knows her way around Carnival and the Mardi Gras of the world. We're going to have on later, after the episode, our great friend, Michaela Malazzi.
Great friend, yes. Colleague, it's amazing when you have people in your life who just, she was personally instrumental in helping us create Places to Love. No one helped us more than Michaela. And
if you aren't familiar with Michaela, we'll have a great chat with her. But she has an awesome travel show on PBS called Bare Feet.
Emmy Award-winning,
where
travel
she
series,
travels and dances around the world.
Yeah. And she also has a big tie to our last episode that we're showing, Ireland. She does a lot with Ireland in really fascinating ways. Mm-hmm. So we'll get into that, but it all ties into the episode. It all ties in. Who else do we have here? Colleen is here. Colleen Casey is in the house. Cindy Scaglione is in the house. Let's see who else. I don't have my readers on. And
Mark has asked if I'm feeling better. Yeah, I'm feeling much better, and we're in the same room again. It was. I tell you, I tested negative 5 times. I think we went through so many kits. I kept thinking, "There's no way this is not COVID," and it wasn't. It was just an awful flu or cold or something.
No, it was like that Arnold Schwarzenegger thing. It's not a tumor. It's not COVID.
Yeah, it wasn't COVID, but it was.
Has anyone else felt that way? But yeah, you looked like you had flu and everything. Yeah. It was the whole thing.
Well, hold on a second here. So, Barbara from Bath, Maine, was thrilled to meet you in Limerick. That's amazing. Wow.
Oh my gosh,
Hey,
how do I
Barbara.
not remember you? Because I love Bath. Barbara, we met in Limerick. Keep giving me hints. Where did we meet? Did we meet in the hotel lobby? Did we meet at one of the locations we were at? I'm amazed I don't remember you because I love Bath, Maine, and anyone from Maine. So please tell me, Barbara, where did we meet? So we can reminisce. Meg Parsons is here. Marcus is here. Jeff is here. So great to see all of you. I'm a little tired because I went sledding for 3 hours today because we finally had a snow day here in New York City, the first one in like 2 years. We had a minor one a few weeks ago. But here's the thing. The New York City school system has declared that there are no more snow days. No, we have remote classwork now. And the teachers get to like chime in at 8:30, take everyone's attendance. They have this fun morning meeting, and then it's up to we parents to facilitate all the lessons to make sure our children are getting online and know how to navigate that. And we have to do that till like 2 p.m. And I think it's a pile of bull because growing up in New Hampshire, there is nothing more. I said bull.
Wow.
I
Again,
think it's ridiculous. We have jobs. We have a lot of work to do. Now I have to teach kids, how to multiply mixed numbers. I don't remember that.
Haley is joining us for the first time. Hi, Haley.
Hi, Haley.
Some of her earliest memories are watching Great Hotels, Samantha's show on the Travel Channel.
Nice.
With your dad on Saturday mornings.
I love that. Yeah, I love that. I was definitely a show where many generations watched with each other, and I took great pride in that. Haley, I just hope that you are not under 10 because apparently Kevin saying what I'm saying is not family friendly. But I feel like she is.
Just to correct. Vera asked if Michaela's going to dance. I don't think we're set up. I don't have the equipment for that. But
I'm sure she's ready to dance anytime.
I had lunch with Michaela at a public television conference, and I think I was paying the bill or something. Look up, and she starts dancing with the waiter.
Yeah, exactly.
She's legit. Her story checks out.
She's a very good dancer too.
Jeff asked a question I think we should address.
I think we look. Yeah, is that how we're dressed?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. He said he was underdressed, right?
He said he was underdressed.
Yeah.
And I can't find it now, but I'm wearing this jacket because someone bought this for me in Ireland, and I love it. And I was like, wow, I'm gonna wear my fancy tweed jacket.
Yes. The last time I was in Ireland, our very first season of Places to Love, we went to Donegal. And the I forget which town, but we featured a man who was the last weaver of the town, and I bought 2 beautiful tweed jackets that everyone. I should have worn that. I could quickly get those on. But then I was like, I want to get Kevin a beautiful tweed jacket. So I went to like every shop I could to find the right one because I didn't want one that was too kind of traditional. I wanted one a little modern. Kevin has a modern look, doesn't he? He does. So I wanted a modern look for his tweed, and I think this is exceptional. It's a beautiful tweed from Ireland. I'm wearing my Irish knit sweater. Yep.
I'm gonna go. Yes, Jeff, you are underdressed. Yeah. So wow, so much to talk about. No particular order, but last weekend was our big Places to Love marathon, 10 episodes back to back. And here's a fun fact that on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, the 5 days in a row, they play 2 episodes back to back at 9 p.m. So right now on Create, our Route 66 episode that was our second episode this season, and last year's California road trip will be airing while we're live here on the Face YouTube.
That's tough. That's tough competition.
That's a tough one.
It's a really tough competition.
And tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern will be our 2 Oregon shows, Portland and our RV trip with the kids and I. That was fun.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's when they were very young. Very young.
And then our final episode, Thursday night at 9 p.m. will be our 2 New Hampshire episodes that we're really excited about.
Your mom says hello.
Oh, hi, Mom. Hope everyone's feeling better there. They got it pretty bad over there in
the O'Learys got hit.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, I hope you're feeling better. Absolutely.
So speaking of new episodes, we had someone mentioned that our man on the inside, Jeff, who might work for the NSA. I'm beginning to think that's what it is.
You think that's what it is?
Mark.
Okay.
Gets to see all the episodes.
Oh, because he's from Maryland.
Days earlier.
All the Maryland people work for the NSA, don't they?
And even acknowledged it in writing that he saw the episode that should be premiering on Thursday already today, which is exciting.
Mark, I love how now it's code. He already knows code. It's episode 7. Before when we started, he would have said what it was, but now it's code. So NSA definitely.
Definitely.
I'm only kidding. I don't think we should say that, right?
It's true. But anyway, let's since episode 7 was brought up, that's the episode that'll start airing this week, which is our beautiful episode we filmed in Newport, Rhode Island.
Yeah, Newport, Rhode Island.
So let's take a look at that.
I'm in a city that is by the beautiful sea. A coastal beacon founded on religious freedom that grew into a vacation gem. It's a place where over 350 years of history is within walking distance.
Wow.
And that strong kinship with time inspires a fidelity from its locals to preserve and share what they love. But first, let's set the record straight.
I say quahog.
It's not quahog.
Get out.
Oh, no.
I'm happy as a quahog. I'm in Newport, Rhode Island.
I tell you, nothing warms my heart or melts my heart like a New England accent, and Rhode Island lays it on thick. And so I love that whole scene with the quahogger. I still can't say it.
Speaking of shellfish, our great friend Angel Castellanos says your picture's still in the Moran's Oyster Restaurant.
Nice.
That's Donegal, right?
Yeah.
Was that?
No, Moran's is in oh my gosh, yes. No, that's I'm thinking
that was Travel Channel days, right?
Angel, we've had oysters together twice now because we had it in Boston, remember? And that was in Galway Bay. Yeah. Galway. Wow. I didn't know. Yeah. That was, I'll tell you, that was epic oyster eating right there. Right out, I mean, we were in the water. Very nice. Thanks, Angel. Thanks for joining us. I love it. Newport is a great episode. I grew up, in New Hampshire, and so always knew of Newport. I think I went there once with my family, so I had a very clear, fixed idea of what it was. And I love this episode because I discovered so much about this city that really has the reputation for being like a she destination, of course, because of the mansions, as well as the sailing history that's there and the races. Of course, it attracts a very upscale visitor, and yet, there's so much more going on that makes it, for me, a lot more interesting. And the history will surprise you. The people will, and their talents and their skills are just remarkable. And I think Newport just has so much more gravitas than I never knew. Honestly, I just thought it was sort of a rich destination, and it's not that. We don't do destinations like that.
Speaking of rich destinations, we got Ian from Honduras. Or sorry, Rolando. Rolando's from Honduras. That's pretty cool.
Honduras is one of, I gotta tell you, Rolando, thank you very much for joining us. One of my best memories of all time was when I was filming in Honduras. I was there for a show called Passport to Latin America. And I had a lovely time. I had such a wonderful time. And I went for a hike in this, all by myself. I went for a hike in the woods, and I stumbled upon this river that flowed through these rocks, and you could just float amongst them. And I saw their families there, so I knew it was safe to get in the water and do that. But it was just phenomenal. I loved being there. I loved the people. I had a lot of really, really wonderful memories being there. Where we were there shooting, I'm so sorry. This is a good 20 years ago, Rolando. So I apologize, but we were there shooting one of the archaeological sites, as well as just being a part of everyday life there, which is pretty remarkable. So thank you for joining us. Kevin is making his drink right now. You've got a cocktail that is named after our episode.
Drink.
Oh, I'm going to take a sip too.
Our collective drink that you will have one sip of. I was trying to find something that was a little different, and this is kind of a play on the word Limerick, and it's lime Ricky Limerick, and it's basically a lime Ricky made with Irish whiskey.
I got it.
And it's fun.
I might have been sledding all day, but I still got it. I'm pretty wiped out. Sledding can really take it out of you, and my kids love it. We were there for a really long time. So, but yeah, I'm so glad. Who else is in the house? I'm gonna have to put on my readers. There's my ugly pair. I'm sorry, I couldn't find anything prettier. So we have. Hello, Daniel is here. Kevin, Cindy Barry is here. Hello, Gracie Torres. We're at Newport, Narragansett, and Bristol, Rhode Island. Great places to love. You're absolutely right. The Narragansett Bay is beautiful as well. Duncan McPherson and the Bing Crosby movie High Society is based in Newport. I remember that film. I love that film. Was Lauren Bacall in that film? No, probably. Or Katharine Hepburn, right? Hello from Lancaster, California. Thank you all. Cindy in Mexico. Nice. Gracie Torres, hello from Lake Charles, Louisiana. Thank you. Hello and
cheers.
Hello. Cheers.
To Ireland.
To Ireland.
It's like a whiskey sour with lime instead of lemon.
That is so good.
Yeah. It's
Do
drinkable.
not let me have another sip of this.
I will.
I will be 3 sheets to the wind. Woo! All right.
And before we move on, just one quick mention that we do have some berths or staterooms available left for our Upper Danube trip, July 28th this year. Going the Upper Danube, basically the big hits there are, it starts in Germany and goes through Vienna, Austria. We go through the wine country there, which is our favorite, and ends in Budapest, which is pretty epic. And you can go to amawaterways.com/Samantha Brown, one big word there, to get discounts that are good until the end of March. So we still have another 6 weeks for those. And also there's a 2025 sailing that is lots of interest on that right now. It's kind of, I know my parents are looking to go. And
oh, gosh.
It's going to be
the Lower Danube?
Yeah, that's a whole new world there.
Yeah, I cannot wait. I've been wanting to do that one for a good 5 years. Grace Kelly, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Grace Kelly. I knew that. Actually, no, I didn't. But I didn't remember it. I should say that. The main line outside Philly. Yeah. Okay, should we start the show?
Yeah, let's get going.
Schlante.
All right, so let's go with Limerick.
I'm in a destination that is absolutely enchanting. It's known for its historic castles and charming towns of thatched cottages. But I'm here to discover what is not known, like how an ancient landscape still reaches out to us today and inspires everything from conservation to more contemporary design. It's a place known for its passion towards sustainability. And so I'll be taking you to tucked away places where it's bottled, to roadside taverns where it's deliciously smoked.
Prepare to die!
That is, if I can shake this guy. I'm in Limerick and County Clare, Ireland.
You know, that might be the most epic open to any show.
I think that was a good one. Yeah, that really was a good one. And we knew right away that when we started doing that, I'm like, wouldn't it be funny if this was the actual open? Because it was becoming a big scene, that whole thing. You're about to see more of it when we start the show. But we're like, how about we just separate the whole fighting scene and make it the open? So love that. I love going to Ireland. I can't tell you how many times I've been. And it's one of those countries that I think everyone dreams of going to, and then returning to, and then going back again, and then maybe doing another whole part of it. You know, it's just this place that I think everyone truly loves. We didn't have to convince anyone that Ireland was a place to love. One of the reasons why that makes it a really easy place to love is it has pre-clearance airports. Does everyone know what that is? Shannon and Dublin are both pre-clearance airports. That means when you are flying home, you actually clear U.S. Customs in Ireland, and then that officially puts you technically in the United States once you pass through customs in Ireland. And so your plane takes off and you land domestically, which is unbelievable.
Yeah.
I think it's so, and people are like, oh, it's a mess there. There's long lines. There's long lines everywhere at airports, especially big international airports like that. But pre-clearance airports, I wish the United States had more of them. They really make life much easier. Here is this is Alma Magna, right?
Yeah, that's Alma Magna.
That's my ship. That is my ship. And so we are sailing the first time in. We're going to do the August one for
July 28th.
July 28th, right?
Yep.
And then for 2024, and then in June, that's the Lower Danube, and it is a miraculous ship. I mean, it's just phenomenal.
Yeah.
It is a great way to enjoy Europe. I certainly did. See, I can't drink anymore. I'm already.
All right, let's get going.
The third largest city in Ireland. It's older than the city of London. It sits along the famous Shannon River, and that's where you'll find me, at one of its most iconic buildings, King John's Castle, where anyone can learn how to be a little more on guard.
So with your left leg forward and your right leg back, make a sort of an L shape. So see that? So it's not directly behind me. As you extend your hand out to cut, you're already in line with your opponent's neck.
So we want to be comfortable before we slice someone in half. Is that what you're
Exactly.
saying?
Your second primary guard then is a position called flug.
Flug.
Like you're holding a plow. Have you ever held a plow?
I have not.
Me neither. There's not a lot of farming in Brooklyn, is there?
No, there's not.
I'm learning new moves and new expressions.
You can lean in underneath his legs, you slice off his Leo Rodi, make a gesture out of him. Maybe that bit would be cut.
No. Well, yeah, cut. Not a good word on this.
Cut, not a good word, yeah.
So the fact that we're standing in a castle right now, and behind it is the third largest city in all of Ireland.
That's
behind
right.
it means that this castle was successful.
The fact that the only bit of the castle we lost is the fourth tower wall is very impressive, considering of the hundreds of castles across Ireland, most of them are in ruin. The castle is such a rich and dynamic history, and truly one of the most important venues here in Ireland. So much history, so much to be proud about. I'm Michael Casey, I'm the castle historian and the court jester here at King John's Castle.
This was a very strategic place to put a castle.
Oh, most definitely. Even from the very top tower, you'll see hills and mountains in the distance. Each hill and mountain is actually in a different county in Munster. So from one spot, you could see the whole county. Also, being right here by the river, perfect to dock boats. So it would have been a lot of trade here in the city, and spices from India, Spain, the likes, fabrics from all across the world as well.
The castle has round towers which deflected arrows, and later square walls were built as they deflected cannonballs better.
So as the weaponry changed, so did the shape of castles.
It had to. It had to in order to survive. And that's why so many castles across Ireland and Europe in general are in ruin, because they never adapted. Whereas King John's was all about adapting. It was all about constantly upgrading. And it's actually one of the only castles in the world that has constantly been in use from its building. Been standing 800 years, and I'm sure will stand for 800 more as well.
So, it's funny, when I scouted that show, and I had the privilege of going a month earlier to see everything and kind of put this together. And, we did these shows back to back with our Belfast and Northern Ireland show as well. I was a little hesitant with the whole sword fighting thing and the court jester stuff, because I've seen a bit of that around the world, and it's sometimes comes across a bit cheesy. But that guy knew so much about sword fighting. It was fascinating. Just all the different, first thing he has, well, do you want to learn the High German style, or do you want to learn the Irish style? He had all the different.
There's the Italians.
Yeah, that's right. Italian or German was different ways of sword fighting, and he knew his stuff, and that made me really interested in doing that. So I went from being I doubt it to, oh, this is so cool.
Yeah. I was just watching that. I was like, I remember one of our rules is we really don't do things with reenactors, right? Reenactors or anybody in costume, because it just kind of takes you out of it. Like, we're not, we don't want to feel like we're like these tourists being sort of hoarded through something and getting a performance. Like, we really want to get to know people. But these two gentlemen were exceptional. And you told me about it. I was like, okay, yeah. I got really excited when you're talking about the different sword fighting, because actually, I was a thespian, and you do a lot of sword fighting when you're Shakespeare and you learn. So I kind of liked it, and so but meeting these guys immediately, you wanted to do more, and you wanted them to kind of really show off who they were as well. And so we loved it. We just loved them, and I think it really comes out in the scene, just their personalities, and just he was juggling, and Sylvie was like, "Do you think you could?" introduce yourself while juggling? He's like, sure. And then it just makes it more interesting, right? So yeah, I agree. I loved being there. Loved that castle, and yeah, it was because of those two, definitely. And the history. Okay, the history of the castle is pretty cool.
I always come to Ireland with an empty suitcase, which I plan on filling here. Made in Limerick is an arts and crafts cooperative featuring the handmade products of local artisans.
I can put whatever colors I want to put together. I can decide on the pattern, the stitch technique. I love the fact that what I create then is very individual to me as a designer.
And when you say you're the designer, then you're not necessarily the weaver.
No, I am. My business is just me. And so I would come up with my ideas for my designs, then I program it into a CAD software, and then that's transferred to the knitting machine, and then the knitting machine does its magic.
So this is a whole new way of really visualizing a piece and bringing it forth, because we are so used to seeing the traditional massive weaving machines.
Initially, when I started out the business, I was working on hand plats, which are a domestic knitting machine, which would have been around since your mom, my mom.
I do love a good Irish knit sweater, but Linda's knits are made with a wool and cashmere blend.
It's washed then just to remove the oils, and to it just fluffs up the fabric, and it makes it beautiful to wear. I like to think that I sort of cross the bridge between something that's sustainable and sort of traditional, but much more contemporary and fun and quirky, and that gives people some joy.
Clare Jones is a ceramicist at Made in Limerick, and her inspiration goes back thousands of years.
All my designs are inspired by the ancient pottery that was found in Clare, which is where I'm from. So there's been shards of old pottery found down there with this type of design on it. So I kind of took inspiration from that. And I loved that idea of ancient peoples probably living in terrible conditions, you know, but it was important to them to sit down and decorate the everyday objects they used. And that's kind of where I took it with my own work.
With Clare, what is it like in terms of a landscape?
I know I'm biased, but it's magical. But it's just a beautiful horseshoe-shaped lake. It's surrounded by hills around it. There's elements of every era of history out there. It's just a very important place historically.
It's true. I do bring an empty suitcase to Ireland. I always do, because I know I'm going to load up. I think every piece that you saw in her shop that we showed, I actually then bought and gave to family members. I know Carolyn has a lovely piece from our designer, and the pottery. I mean, I just want to buy it all. And it actually works really well when you're buying pottery and woven knits, because you just wrap the pottery in the knit and then it's fine.
You know, one of the I think one of the challenges when we go back to a place, because we'd done a show in Ireland 6 years earlier, is, you know, how do we do things a little differently than we did before? Because we don't want to just keep telling the same story and keep redoing the same kind of scene. And we featured a weaver in that beautiful episode in the Donegal area, and you know, he kind of did things the old way, which is beautiful, and the handcraftedness of that is wonderful. But I think when we're looking at ideas, I think we like the idea of, like, you know, it doesn't all have to be in the past. You know, people in Ireland can have modern things and can work and be creative in a modern way. It doesn't all have to go backwards or stay in the past that way. So we were really excited about featuring someone, and we purposely showed her on the computer designing her work and allowing that to, you know, be on there.
Yeah. Carolyn, I adore the woven poncho. Yes, she truly does. But yeah, I think we were fascinated by the high techness, and that is something we wanted to also incorporate. That, you know, Ireland, although we love it for its, you know, the sort of the ancientness and the customs and the traditions, it is a modern society. It's a very modern place. Clearly, there's a reason why it's called the Celtic Tiger, right? I mean, it became high. Technology was is still really, prominent there in the technology field. Like it's moving ahead. It's a modernized kind of society. So I think anything that shows that it's not this sort of, well, my Irishness.
Yeah, they don't have anything but.
Yeah, exactly. It's nothing preserved in aspic.
Wherever you look, you're going to see people in their relationship with stone and how they've used stone to build and how to live. And all the rocks and fields, they tend to tell stories, So there's very few fields here without something going on. Stone has played a massive role in all our lives around here for millennia, I suppose, I'm Brian Colopy. I'm the operations supervisor with Lochgar Development. So around Lochgar, the past is ever present. You can always feel it as you walk through the fields, as you put your hands on stones. And then in turn, I get to share that with visitors from near and far, and that truly is a joy.
There has to be an alignment to something, right?
There is,
it
of
aligned
course,
to any sort of celestial happening?
So the alignment that we conclusively know about is, if you look directly in front of us, you can see there are the V stones. So the setting sun of Halloween, or Samhain in Irish, is captured between the two of those there. And that alignment is still there again, 4,500-5,000 years after its initial construction phase.
I would have packed my Princess Leia costume if I had known that this is a Halloween circle. That changes everything.
Would have been first Princess Leia here, I'd say.
One thing that I'm really amazed by is just the space within the circle. Does that give us a sense of how many people would have been here?
And the number of stones, the weight of the stones suggests that hundreds of people are involved in the construction. And then equally, you don't build a space this big for 20 people. Obviously, a lot of people are coming here. It's not a burial site, it's not a domestic site, it's not a defensive site, and it's not an agricultural site. So to me, this looks like an amphitheatre.
And the stones are still revealing their mysteries. Less than a month before I arrived, there was a major archaeological discovery.
Hitherto, we believed that these stones were put in place about 4,500 years ago. Yet now we have a stone that seems to have Neolithic markings, which would make it more than 5,000 years old. So the questions at the moment are, is the stone a Neolithic stone later put into the circle, or is it that the stones themselves are all Neolithic in origin? So
what would it mean? Do we know?
We don't. We're looking at something, a person carved this on this stone 5,000 summers ago, and then we've had 5,000, Irish winters raining on it. So it's only the second example of this in the province of Munster. So it's an incredibly rare find,
So 5,000 years later, the people are still giving us clues.
Exactly, yeah, 100%, yeah.
Debbie Jensen Perry just mentioned so beautiful and green. And let me just back up just a hair here.
We had beautiful weather. That shot was still, it was gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous.
And I'd say that I was there a month earlier, so that was early August. You guys filmed there in early September.
Yeah, we did, which is a nice time to shoot. Yeah.
And I've been to Ireland a dozen times, the last 30 years, and it was really strange driving around the west of Ireland and seeing brown grass.
Oh, that's right, because they had
a heat wave.
Heat wave, that's right.
Just the idea that there not being much rain and a lot of heat, and the grass turning brown was just a strange.
Yeah, you're right.
And obviously, a month later, it's all back to green again. But it was just kind of you get those moments of where global warming and climate change kind of hit you. For me, that was one of them. Being in Ireland and seeing brown grass.
The funny thing about that story is the scene is when we were shooting it. Of course, the Irish have a way of talking. Just everything about it, you just get really sucked in. And he had so much to say about these stones. I love what he says about them. And we were walking, and so we were doing drone shots, and then we had our camera shots, and he and I were just walking around the circle, around and around. And at one point, I realized I was exhausted because he was telling such beautiful stories. I think we had walked around that circle like 10 times, and I was actually starting to get dizzy. I swear to God, I was like, "Can we just take a break for a second?" But he was fascinating, and I you could just listen to someone from Ireland talk all day. Really, I just needed to sit down.
There are a few sports that are absolutely a part of Ireland and its soul, and that's Gaelic football and then hurling. No, not curling, hurling. This mashup of soccer, lacrosse, and hockey actually predates all of them, going back centuries of Irish history. And I'm getting my first look at it from members of the Limerick senior hurling team, who are the current hurling champions in Ireland.
I suppose every town, village, city you go to, there's probably a pub, a hurling field, and a post office.
That's where it fits into the
it's kind of everything, like, you know.
Give me the idea of how you play the sport and what the goal is.
So you're just trying to score. It's the team that gets the most points.
Okay.
And the way they do that is to hit the ball, which is called a slitter, with a wooden bat called a hurley, and get it up and down the field as fast as they can. That's right, 28 players running with sticks.
If I'm passing it to you, Sean, you're my teammate.
If you pass me the ball, I can maybe give an example. So you're striking the ball to Brian there.
No. What?
Yeah, rather than.
God.
Well, you can do it that way, of course, if he's close enough, but.
You're essentially taking that ball, whacking it in the air, past heads, past about 15 other people.
Yeah.
Do you wear helmets?
Yeah.
We do wear
helmets. Okay, all right. Yeah. Not always, did you, though?
No, it changed.
And this is your first time picking up a hurley?
Yes.
It is the fastest field sport in the world, isn't it?
Unfortunately, for a lot of Americans, this is the first time they're going to be seeing this sport, and I'm going to be slowing it down considerably.
Well, God.
Classic Samantha Brown.
Each team has a goal, so you'll have a goalkeeper that'll be in each goal as well, trying to protect the net, I suppose, like hockey. You get 3 points for a goal, and then if it goes over the crossbar, it's a point then as well.
Oh, okay,
so
okay. So you are trying to get into it.
Yeah, you're just trying to accumulate as many points as you can.
Oh!
There it is.
Well done.
2 points, right?
Yeah, left and right.
Great coaching, great coaching.
Good stuff.
You know, you might not want to hit right to the goalie. Very good.
I'm starting to feel a bit under pressure here.
God.
The village of Adair.
Crazy sport. Absolutely crazy. I mean, it's basically like lacrosse and tennis and baseball. I don't know. It's like lacrosse
like
and baseball.
where you're allowed to swing the stick at like head level. It's crazy.
But I did pick it up, and that's why I was so proud of myself. They were impressed with me, and that feeling that I got when he was like, "Wow, you are really good." I'm like, "Thanks." But yeah, I always I get very competitive very quickly, and I want to pick it up, and I do not want to look like a fool for the camera. And so I was really happy with that because that was a hard sport.
Is one of those places you see once in a photo and commit yourself to seeing in person one day. Founded in the 13th century, Adair is a true beauty, with its main street of thatched roof cottages, as well as a phenomenal residence, Adair Manor, now a luxury hotel. It was originally built for the Earl of Dunraven, and it's known as a calendar house. Why? Because it has 365 windows, 52 chimneys, 7 stone pillars, and 4 towers for the seasons in a year. I'm enjoying one of the most luxurious of afternoon teas with exquisite pastries, and I might have swapped out the tea for a botanical gin and tonic. This stunning gallery is almost the longest hall in Ireland, second only to Trinity College Dublin, where I'm sure they don't serve anything as good as this. This hotel has all, well, manner of activities and attractions, including a full 18-hole championship golf course, fishing excursions on a beautiful river that flows right through the property.
I never catch anything, but that's okay. I don't mind. And I think that's sort of the point.
That's why it's called fishing, not catching.
But it also features something wilder.
All right, Samantha, so this is Cal.
Cal?
And Cal is a falcon.
Okay. Female, male, does it matter?
Oh, he's a male.
Okay.
And what you're holding here is officially the fastest animal on the planet.
Is that right? How
Absolutely. The fastest peregrine falcon on record was clocked in at an incredible 242 miles per hour.
It's like a Formula One race car.
Absolutely.
From the fastest raptor, we go to the cutest.
Now, Samantha, this
what are you doing to me,
is
Liam?
tiny.
What are you doing?
Cuteness
I have a
overload.
husband, I have kids. I can't stay here with this owl for the rest of my life like I want to.
Absolutely.
Oh my God. You are the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Her name is Tiny. Tiny is a northern white-faced owl, and this is a species now which would be indigenous to Africa.
Wow.
As small as she is actually 12 years old. In the wild, if they are fortunate enough to make it out of the first year, which typically about 75% would not be that fortunate, average life expectancy typically in the range of about 4 to 6 years. So she's already doing pretty good for herself here.
Gosh, they're quite vulnerable.
They really are, and that is our ultimate goal here, to help raise awareness about these animals with regard to their conservation statuses, and just also to help people gain a greater understanding of these animals. Now this is Amber, and Amber is a great grey owl.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
So Amber would be 4 years of age, and this is one of the biggest species of owl in the world. So for owls, their hearing is their primary hunting tool. Whereas with the rest of the birds here, the falcons, the hawks, the eagles, their vision is their primary hunting tool. Now an owl's hearing is so good that it is literally like a superpower. From up to 90 meters away, which is a full football field, she'd potentially hear a mouse foraging in high grass looking for food. And not only can she hear it, she has the ability to pinpoint precisely where it is. So auricular feathers are designed to guide the sound towards the outer rim, all the while amplifying it for the bird.
What you do is actually really important for the understanding and the conservation of these animals.
Oh, absolutely. And again, that is one of our primary goals here, just to help raise awareness about conservation with these animals. You can never know too much about these birds.
No, you can't.
That was a magical place, and it was interesting. You know, you go from a tiny, tiny little bird. Wait, hello, Brooklyn Homeowners Association. I think my neighbor is harboring. Exactly, and a koala.
And a koala.
Yes, exactly.
Nice one, Dave.
But when Liam put the larger owl on me, he was still pretty light. You know, I mean, they have so many feathers, and I was like bracing my arm for it, and all of a sudden, toop, you know. But yeah, it's a really amazing place, and we had to cut a lot of the fishing scene, which in the end was disappointing. You know, in the beginning you're like, oh, let's just do it just in case, and then you're like, it might not be that interesting, and then it was interesting. The fishing guide was fantastic and had a lot of great stories, as the Irish.
No surprise. An Irish fishing guide is hilarious.
Yeah. So that was a hard one to cut, so we had to cut him down a lot because we really wanted to show the falconry a lot. But that castle, oh my gosh, we did not stay there, unfortunately, but it was so beautiful. Christina and I, my stylist, we had to change to get ready for the scene, and we walked in, and the bathroom, here is the bathroom. I know, ladies, you're gonna really appreciate this. That's the bathroom. Like, it's not where all the toilets were in that door right there, but like that was the behind you are the mirrors and the sinks. It was like, oh my gosh, we're not leaving.
The Burren is a magical place.
But it was a great place. And after I did that scene, that beautiful botanical gin and tonic, it was so beautiful. The staff was so lovely. Before we arrived, we were there when that area was closed. So it was just me and the crew, and they had this whole spread of lovely pastries for us to enjoy. And we like, a lot of times it's like we're there to work and people are there just to kind of do the scene with me and that's it. But when they like extend again baked goods to my crew, people don't realize that when you treat the crew right, oh my gosh, you're gonna get whatever you want. And but at the end I had that, and I don't drink on camera. I take little sips because I have the whole day of shooting in front of me. So I asked them, like, could I put this in a cup to go? And they were so excited. They were like, yes. So I had it in the crew bus on my way home.
Them, you put the teacup in your pocketbook. No, it's funny. We typically don't feature luxurious places like that on our show, and again, we didn't stay there. It's not like they gave us free rooms, so we gave them that coverage. It was just a really interesting look, and a different kind of look for the rest of the places we went to in that part of Ireland. And it's the Adair. Someone asked what it's called. It's called the Adair Manor.
The Adair Manor, yeah.
There's several hotels like that in Ireland.
Actually. I did one with my Travel Channel days. I forget, it was another castle where they've like converted a castle or a manor into beautiful hotel lodgings. But I mean, to have tea in that hall, oh my gosh. Second largest hall, longest hall.
I got the full tour of the place. I was looking for ideas and like
that Scotch room.
The night bar for the hotel guests was like the coolest room you've ever been in your life.
Awesome.
Yeah,
it was awesome. Awesome place.
Yeah. So anyway, we didn't stay there.
We didn't stay there.
I'd say that's a testament to the show that I'd say we've featured more hotels that we haven't stayed in than we have.
Yeah. And also we know that and I know, and this has happened before, where that is extended to us while we're in a place. And our crew, we just want things to be really convenient. And when you're staying in a luxury hotel, it's for people who have a lot of time. They're there to relax. And we're not. We're there to work. So we really honestly appreciate more like a 3-star hotel that just has like breakfast in the morning that we can grab, tea kettles in the room.
Easy
elevators, easy access. We're really like no frills.
Yeah.
We are not there to relax, and we don't want to be reminded with that bathroom that we could be doing something else other than working is what it is. Anyway, go ahead.
It's a place that, as a traveler, you don't really arrive at, but descend into. And you come into this space that is magical, and it just feels ancient.
And it also holds 70% of the diversity of Ireland's diversity of flowers, of moths and butterflies, of animals. So although it looks quite lunar and sort of grey on the outside, if you just walk in it and you see all the little beautiful details and the orchids and the flowers, and it's really magical.
And so your inspiration is to literally stop and smell the flowers in your perfumes.
All the products that we make, and especially all the perfumes, are very much inspired by, it might be one plant, or it might be several plants, or it might just be the atmosphere in the springtime or in the summer. I am Sadie Chowan, and I am the owner and the perfumer at the Burren Perfumery. For me, perfume is like an invisible friend that is with you at all times. This is my workshop, this is my area where I'm experimenting and fine-tuning perfumes and coming up with new ideas. Perfume making is part science and part art.
And this might not be it for you, right? But this is the recipe that you'll go back and you're like, maybe a little more of this.
This is just one trial, one direction, if you like. It's a bit like creating music or painting a picture. You bring different facets to different things. And so you create a harmony from all the different ingredients. So each of our perfumes would have maybe 40 or 50 different ingredients in it.
And you are the conductor.
And I am the conductor, yeah.
It's hard to overstate how committed they are to the term handmade on premises. It's made, bottled, and packaged on site. This is truly a cottage industry.
Sustainability is really important to us. So all the packaging is from recycled paper. Everything that comes on site is recycled, whether it's the glass or the cardboard or the organic waste from the tea rooms. And we really do our best to have a light footprint, because where we work and live is environmentally a very sensitive and very beautiful area. And we've made a conscious decision over the many years that we've owned and worked here not to let it grow too big, but to concentrate on quality and the warm welcome and the beautiful products that we make, just to keep it just as it is, like a little oasis.
One of the best places I've ever been to. Oh gosh, the whole crew fell in love with it. Even the men were like softened by it, and they were outdoors drinking tea and just taking it all in. She's an amazing person. It truly is a cottage industry. The parking lot only has like 10 spots, and they do not allow big buses. So there are no bus tours that go there. And that means that while you're there, you all of a sudden won't be inundated with 40 people coming in and kind of taking over a place. It feels like a discovery for everyone arriving there. One thing we didn't have time to show, other than the perfumes, which we all bought like $200 worth. I still have so much perfume because I love it, gave it as gifts. They have this tea room that is just like out of like a Beatrix Potter, book, and they made us the most. Sadie had a French pastry chef who made us this beautiful strawberry tart just for us and our crew. And the scones or the scones, however you say that, were the best I've ever had.
Is close
If you go, it is reason alone to go to the Burn. Although you're going to see more reasons as well, but wow, just a really special business. And another thing we didn't get into in this episode was her sustainability. Just also incorporated her employees who she paid above the living wage. And that's something that people are talking more and more about, like how sustainability isn't just the earth and protecting what you see in the moss and the butterflies, but also the people who live in these communities and enabling them to have a good quality of life with a local job. And she's someone who provides that. So yeah, buy perfume from her. She's wonderful.
I spent a day kind of going all around the Burn, and there's some I scouted a few things that didn't make the show, and they were all interesting, but it was the easiest thing walking out of meeting her and their staff, and just seeing what they did there was just like, man, this is such an easy sell. Like, I mean, just beautiful people making beautiful products in a beautiful place.
Mm-hmm.
That's what travel's about, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we certainly all loved our time there, and I found out that I was an Erin man. That's the cologne that I wore.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what you have.
I'm an Erin
yes. man. I have spring and autumn, and I loved, and all the packaging was recycled, but also hand painted. I'm not each package hand painted, but they were hand painted watercolor designs from a local artist that then became their packaging. I mean, it was just everything was just perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to go back.
The Wild Atlantic Way. I'm stopping off at the Roadside Tavern, quite literally, which has been owned by the Curtin family for 150 years. I'm joining Birgitta Curtin for a perfect lunch of organic smoked salmon. And Birgitta doesn't just offer the salmon on the menu, she makes it. Incredible care goes into the production of food in the Burren.
All the salmon that is farm raised on the west coast of Ireland is organically certified. The organic criteria is stocking densities. So it has to be 1% fish, 99% water, so the extremely huge space for the salmon to swim around in.
Even the fish food is a sustainable source of salmon, which means high concentrations of the omega-3s we all want.
You want
That's
those omega-3s.
For the brains,
yes.
For the skin, for the hair, for the, for all your heart.
Yeah. I'm just getting smarter standing by all this salmon.
Absolutely. We fillet it and then we salt it for 3.5 hours. So the salting is to kind of open up the cells, allow the smoke to come in. It's preservative, and it also gives a flavor.
The salmon is layered to maximize the amount of contact with the salt.
All the ingredients, as much as we can, needs to be organic.
And the salt is organic too. The salmon is then put in the dryer for 8 hours prior to being smoked.
Yeah, it's a long, slow process. It needs to have a dry surface. And then when you have that dry surface, the smoke will go in and infuse into the salmon.
Okay. In Ireland, when something's boring in these parts, do they say it's like watching salmon dry?
Of course. How did you know?
Then it's time to smoke in the back room.
We believe smoking is an art and a craft. It's not. This is not a mass production.
Every 20 minutes for 8 hours, a scoop of oak shavings is added for the real taste.
And is it just one scoop?
Yeah. Leave it like that because I did one more and we'll be checking. Nice. So that's done for the next 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
Which gave Birgitta and me just enough time for that lovely lunch.
Yeah, that was fun. And I tell you, we had an event about a year ago to celebrate that season, and we reached out to the Burn Smokehouse, and they export to the United States, and I ordered 3 kilos of salmon for that party, remember?
No, because I'm usually talking at the party. I don't get to eat.
Sam doesn't get anywhere near the food. That's the sad thing. But yeah, it was just amazing how things work. That 24 hours after I clicked the order and put the credit card in, a box arrived with 3 kilos.
We should do that for Christmas. I'd like to have some.
Okay.
I love that.
Yeah. It was just amazing how
how quickly
a day later through customs, the whole thing,
this
stuff that was literally smoked a couple days earlier arrived in New York. It's crazy.
Brent, thank you so much. You have no idea the behind the scenes shenanigans that happen when I'm not going to look good in a scene. So Brigitte had one of those hats for me that she was wearing, and my stylist Christina of like 20 years was like, oh no, we've got to figure something out. And then there's all this talking like, well, can she do this? Can she do that? Because, sometimes it's distracting if I look kind of odd. Like Brigitte, that's her job, but I kind of look, and so that's actually my stylist's, her own hat. And she's like, here, just take my newsy cap. And it did. It worked really well. It looked good. But believe me, there was controversy. It was not going to happen.
Controversy?
Controversy.
Really? Wow.
No, I'm overstating the for humor's sake. But no, thankfully I have Christina, who has been taking care of my look for a really long time. And I'll just go in and look the way any way that I feel. I don't care. And then she's like, can I just fix that? So yeah, that was her personal hat.
So on the day, we did a lot of driving the day we went to the Burn, because the Burn's a bit out of Limerick. It's in County Clare, and so we kind of drove all the way around. And this was about the furthest part, because honestly, I think the next town over is the town of Doolin, which is the most famous town in Ireland for music.
Yeah.
If you like Irish music, there's no better place to be than Doolin. I'm sure Michaela's been there. But driving back, we're driving these kind of country roads, and someone, or our friend Michelle asked how the driving is over there. And the driving on the West Coast is, the further west you get in Ireland, just you gotta be a little more careful. The roads get a little narrower, and it's more country road stuff, and not as many tourists driving as you would maybe,
It's not the side of the road we're used to.
So it's just, you gotta be careful, but it's fine.
Yeah.
But I'm driving with our fixer, this guy Brian, who's an awesome tour guide out of Galway, and he just casually mentions, "Oh yeah, there's the Father Ted house." And I was like, "Stop the car!" And
that's a great picture of you.
I don't know if I took hundreds of pictures, I think, with my big camera, little camera, the video. I did everything because I had a chance to be at the Father Ted house. And any Father Ted fans out there? This is the...
they did like 2 seasons, right? It was a pretty short...
3 seasons.
Father Ted. Nice.
That's the house.
Nice.
But yeah, it's... The funny thing about Father Ted is that in America, it actually aired on PBS.
Oh, that's right. Of course. Yeah,
crazy.
Of course it would.
Like a really, not
it's saucy, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's sacrilegious.
I was going to say it's sacrilegious. Yeah.
But really funny, kind of groundbreaking humor. And unfortunately, the guy that was the instrumental guy
he passed away. That's right.
Right as they started, I think, filming the next season. It was awful. But anyway, that was my kind of fun. I got to see Father Ted's house. That was fun.
Largest river in all of Ireland. And while rivers always play an important role in history, the Shannon may have the most unexpected. It was the runway to land the first transatlantic flights originating from New York City. Yes, I did say runway, as those first flights were actually flying boats.
Helen, is this an actual B314 or a model?
It's a replica, yes, a model. We got the plans from Boeing. You see, they only ever made 12 of them. They're all gone. There are none left. And in actual fact, this is the only replica of 314 in the world.
The full replica of the B314 Yankee Clipper is the centerpiece of the Foynes Flying Boat and Maritime Museum, which tells the fascinating history of the first passenger flights across the Atlantic. Can you imagine what this must have been like in 1937?
Oh my goodness. I spend almost like half my life on a plane and I recognize none of this.
This is the dining room. Linen tablecloths, crystal glassware, and in this room you were served a 7-course meal.
Oh my goodness, so when you boarded this flight, you were ready for a luxury experience.
Oh, and certainly you were, yes. But it was very expensive,
How expensive?
Well, for a one-way ticket, $337, which would be the equivalent of $10,000 for a one-way ticket in today's money.
There's a tiny kitchen where 2 stewards would have been cooking and serving from.
Your 2 little ovens worked by steam from the engines.
The flight would take 18 to 20 hours, and upstairs was the crew area where 9 people helped fly the plane. That included 4 pilots, 2 engineers, 2 radio officers, and 1 navigator.
What really captivates you about being in the Yankee Clipper? What really speaks to you?
Oh, sure, it must be the space and the luxury and the 7-course meal and the grandeur of it.
How comfortable was it?
Well, maybe not as comfortable as we'd like to think. They were cold, they were bumpy.
Oh, I didn't
you
even think
see,
about that.
they weren't pressurized. They flew under the weather. So weather was a big factor. Yeah. So
they got knocked around.
Oh, certainly.
Would you have done this?
No. I don't think so. I know too much about them now.
So cool, right? There was a honeymoon suite too in the flying boat. A little private cabin because a lot of people were newlywed on that.
I mean, someone mentioned it took 9 people to fly the plane. Like, yeah, they had 2 engineers and they were busy.
Yeah,
they were busy fixing engines mid-flight. They actually could get to the engine from inside the plane because they'd go out all the time and they'd have to fix them while they're flying. Yeah, I mean, it was like, it wasn't they were just kind of hanging out checking their email. I mean, it was, they had to change the drums of fuel mid-flight. It just, I read a whole thing about the first plane to make it directly from, I guess it was from Foynes to New York, and bypassing Gander, which is the usual stop.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And that they hit the weather right the whole way, and they decided to go for it, and they made it. But the guy's literally talking about looking in each drum to see if there's any extra fuel left that they could kind of siphon off. It's different world of everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
And just the idea that we're flying today, and actually. Next week's episode, or the next episode, is our booze show.
Our booze show.
And our friend makes an appearance that we do a whole scene there, a second scene from that museum.
Oh, I think we should tell him. It's because those flying boats inspired the Irish coffee.
That's where it was invented.
That's where it was invented. The Irish coffee was invented after one very awful, bumpy ride, and the passengers were cold. They were set out, but they had to come back, and they had to get them in boats because the water was too rocky to bring the flying boat all the way to land. So they had to go get the passengers in rocky seas, and they were cold and tired, and they put coffee and whiskey together and put cream on top, and a legend was born. So watch the booze show because it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
The joy of visiting Limerick, I suppose, or visiting Ireland as a whole, is it got very friendly people. Our food culture has vastly improved in the recent years. In places like Limerick, the entire story of Ireland can be explored within a very small area. Every age and historical record is firmly attested to in Limerick. It's all happened here. There's no blank spots in the canvas of Ireland's rich tapestry of a story.
Do come to the Burren. It's such a unique, special place. And what we hope for our visitors is that they find a wonderful oasis where they can stop for a moment, take time to look at the flowers, smell the perfumes, talk to all our lovely staff, and just be here.
It doesn't matter what you like. Limerick has all of it. We have so much history, so much geography, such a large art culture here in Limerick as well. There truly is something for everyone here at Limerick.
Oh, 1 point!
1 point, that's all right.
It's Ireland. It's brilliant.
When the ancient and traditional are a bridge to the modern. When a rocky place reminds us to take it slow. When every era of history reveals life's brilliance. That is when we share a love of travel. And that's why Limerick and County Clare, Ireland are places to love.
Nice. Great. That was a great episode.
Yeah.
Great to revisit.
Great way to end that season 6. That was the final episode of that season, and we were happy to start season 6 with Belfast
Ireland,
in Ireland and Northern Ireland, and end it in Limerick and County Clare.
Yeah, it's a great
Wonderful.
episode. Yeah. A lot of fun. I'm glad you all enjoyed it. It was great sharing it with you. Some really great questions and comments. Thank you. Yeah.
I think we are, we usually don't give away our special guest, but it was too big of a special guest to keep it quiet. So without further ado, let's bring in our great friend, Michaela Malazzi.
Malazzi! Hello, Michaela! You are live with Samantha and Kevin's Facebook Live.
Go, Michaela. Go, Michaela.
Michaela, so we have known Michaela for how long?
A long time.
Yeah.
At least 10 years.
10 years?
Yeah. I mean, I think, remember the first time I really hung out with you was at that conference in Austin for that DMAI thing. I met you before, but that was the first time I spent time with you at that conference.
So Michaela has been...
Yeah, that was 10 years ago.
Michaela and I are fellow female hosts of travel programs. There's not many of us out there, and you do such a wonderful job. Please, share with our audience the name of your show and what it's about.
Yeah. So, guys, thanks for having me. This is awesome. By the way, I have so many things from the show. Look at this. The Burn Perfumery.
That's nice. So great.
And it's Erin, right? So
that's mine.
Hey.
I'm wearing my Erin sweater.
There you go. I've got everything Irish right now. I just came back from Ireland on Sunday. I don't even know what's today, Tuesday? Yeah. So, so I have Bare Feet with me, Michaela Malazzi, on PBS stations, on Create. A lot of times my show is tacked on with your show or our friend Rick Steves. It's really fun. Mm-hmm. And I travel and dance around the world. And as you guys know, Ireland is music and dance is such an integral part of the culture. And I think that's why I fell in love with it. The first time I went to Ireland was in 2011. And I've just been obsessed ever since. And I've gone back so many times. And I love it there. I really, really, the people are the nicest people in the world.
Yeah, they really are. And when you're shooting a travel show, sometimes you have a culture that's a little more reticent being on camera. They're a little more shy. It takes a long time to bring them out. And in Ireland, you just press play and they just deliver.
It's a cast of characters.
It really is.
That you couldn't even if you tried hard to find them, it wouldn't work. It's just magic.
Yeah. It is. It is just magic.
What's the most Irish thing you both have had? You're in Ireland and you can't believe it's happening to you. That it's Ireland on steroids. You're saying you meet somebody and then you end up having these amazing conversations and you walk away that really happened.
Yeah, I think the most Irish thing that ever happened to me and my crew actually is we were coming in. For our first episode there back in season 1, and the line to get through customs was unbelievably long. And it started out that the line for the residents was super long. I'm like, oh, we're going to breeze through. There's more residents than, travelers. And our line just stuck and we didn't move. I'm like, what is going on? And we finally get to the point where we can see, and it's because the man behind the counter is talking away, and he's asking every single traveler, "Where are you from? Now, where are you going? Now, well, you can't do that. No, let me write down this for you. You're gonna go here and here and here." And so, at first, we're these New Yorkers, we're a little impatient, but then when it gets to be my turn, I was just like, "I'm from New York. I'm here. We're shooting a travel show, and my whole crew comes over, and we're all around him." And he's like, "Well, oh my God!" And then he says the most Irish thing that has ever been said to me, and I love it. He goes, "Do you have someone to hold your hand on the other side?" I'm like,
"Oh my God!"
Yes, we do. We have someone meeting. Do you have someone meeting you? Is someone meeting you? Is someone going to be taking care of you? Do you have someone to hold your hand on the other side? I'm like, "Oh my God, I love you." So that was the most Irish thing where you're just like, really, even the immigration officers are talkative, chatty, and fun. And lovely.
Yeah. The first time I went to Ireland, I was out to dinner. We were out to dinner, and the people next to us, one was called what was his name? Big Dog. His name was Big Dog. And then he had a scrappy little sidekick. I forget what his name was. This was back in 2011. And the two of them, we just started chatting with them, and they took us out for the entire evening. Like, we were in Dublin, they took us to Stag's Head, and we were at a session in Stag's Head. We became their best friends for the night, and then they gave us an itinerary of where to go. They're like, you have to go to Connemara, you have to go here. I mean, that's Ireland. It's like you become you can go to Ireland on your own. That's like probably the best country to do solo travel.
Good point.
You can go into a pub, you can go anywhere, you make friends everywhere. I mean, I can't say enough good things about Ireland, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, we
but
both,
you bring
we
up
love Ireland so much.
Yeah, but you bring up a good point, I think, just for you generally, that, you know, whenever you travel, you try to pick up the language, but you, Michaela, pick up the dance. And I just hope our audience watching right now really understands what you do. You are a dancer in your own mind, in your own right. You're not someone who's just like trying to pick up sticks and in your mind. No, you are a trained dancer, and so you really pick up that dance. You really move along with them. But it's like learning a language, learning their dance. What is it about learning how people move that really makes you feel like you are getting to know them at a different level? And for the people watching us right now on this Facebook Live, why maybe they should seek out like experiences that you have, because you are going to festivals. You're not going to like totally to like these like one-on-one personal VIP things. You really are going out where people dance, and why that might be an important part of someone's itinerary.
Yeah, I think I like to, and I speak about this a lot when I talk at Travel and Adventure Show or any sort of travel conference, and we've been at the same shows together too, is travel, dance and music is really important to me. It's something that I feel very connected to. And I seek out other people where dance and music is part of their identity, right? And a lot of cultures, the dance and music is part of their identity. So because I'm giving interest and seeking that out with like really with reverence, these people are like, I want to give her more. And I think if you just find something, it doesn't have to be dance or music. That just happens to be what I love the most. Excuse me. But if you find something that you love and other people in that community that they do the same thing, you'll find that connection. I think that's the most important thing, number one. For me, for dance and music, it is that immediate connection. I'm literally in sync with someone. I tend to pick up dances fairly quickly, just like you pick up everything. What is it, like your first try? Like you always get it the first try?
Curling,
first
exactly.
take. Yeah.
First take, we can edit it.
Right, but you always get it the first take, and they're like, I'm not doing it again. It's never going to happen again. That's kind of me with the dancing. Like I pick it up really quickly, but what's happening is I'm literally in step with another human being. We're in synchronization with each other, and it's like we're speaking the same language or having a conversation together without using words. And for me, again, that's how I see it. But what I get from the other person is they feel that immediate connection too. And there's this, you can see it sometimes in our episodes, like there's these moments of joy. And even when I'm messing up and getting a misstep, they love it. It's this beautiful, like you're having a conversation. And in conversations, there are commas, there are periods, there are exclamation points, there are question marks, there are run-on sentences. And that's what the movement and the music does. It's like, you're literally telling a story. I'm there to kind of be part of that story. That's where the title Bare Feet comes from. It's like going there with an open mind. I'm not barefoot in all my in my episodes. I'm wearing shoes. I like to wear shoes.
That makes sense. An open mind and with bare feet. You're vulnerable, right? And you're really just kind of, raw in front of them saying, hey, I'm in your hands. Your feet.
It's not an accident we asked Michaela to be on this show, because she knows a lot about Ireland, has been to Ireland a lot, and has the honor, a really cool honor, to be hosting the St. Patrick's Day parade in Ireland for the second year, right?
Yes. Love that.
Yeah. And
Look at that headset. Look at that headset.
I know. You are.
Yes.
And you worked really hard to help get that simulcast. So anyone who's loves Ireland and loves Irish culture and everything about St. Patrick's Day, on the morning of St. Patrick's Day on the Create Network, there'll be a live broadcast from Dublin with Michaela as the host and Mr. Brennan, I believe.
Francis Brennan. Francis is he's a co-host. He's a big star in Ireland. So when we were together, it was like people taking photos with him. It was very sweet. And we had a lot of American fans of Bare Feet too, so that was very sweet as well.
I got a little clip
air.
I can
Oh,
let me show you.
do it.
Yes, you can. Come on. Francis, come on. You have to be at a wedding. Here we go. No one.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. We got to dance. When we're upstairs, you got to dance.
Keep us warm. That'll keep us warm.
Come on.
I love it. You're teaching them our traditional dances from America. Thanks, Michaela.
Right.
One of the village people was a leprechaun, right? I think that was.
Right?
No?
Maybe.
Construction worker, leprechaun.
How long are you doing that? How long are you commentating? Is that like 2 hours, 4 hours?
No, it's short. It's about an hour and a half. So it'll air. You can tune in live 8:30 a.m. Eastern, and then Create will re-air it later in the day during the Celebrate the Emerald Isle marathon, which we'll also be part of. I know you guys have an episode. We have a few episodes in that marathon, but the parade, they'll re-air it because 8:30 a.m. will be very early on West Coast time, which is going to be 5:30 a.m. So it'll keep airing though later. But yeah, it's just an hour and a half. It's a relatively small parade because actually that parade is only 20-something years old. You know, it's not like in the States. Yeah, and it really caters to American tourists. Like, they really decided, like,
we love a parade.
Yeah, because you have, St. Patrick's Day in Ireland traditionally is a very holy day. So they're like, we would just go to Mass and then go to the pub after, right? And then I think because Americans were like, we want to celebrate St. Patrick's Day in Ireland. And then the Irish were like, why don't we start celebrating and have these Americans and international folks come and we can create so that they are having just as much fun here. So it kind of spawned from that. Yeah. But it's really fun. It's really fun.
Brent's asking, where can we go to watch it? And if you go to createtv.com, there's a thing that you can put your zip code in to find out. It doesn't air everywhere in America, but most places, 85% of America gets the Create Network. So createtv.com.
Yeah, and it'll also be, I think it's going to be live streamed as well online. There's going to be a link for it. So if you follow us on our Facebook page, we're going to be posting for Bare Feet with Michaela Malazzi. So yeah, it's going to be great. It's so fun. So fun.
And all your social media stuff is at travelbarefeet.com, your Facebook, your Instagram.
All the fun things. All the fun things.
But I think what I love about you and what you do is you really show travel through a lens that we don't see. I know you and I have talked about this. So much of the travel experience is seen through food. And I get it. We love food. Food's phenomenal. It's a way to break bread. It's a way to really connect with cultures. But it seems to be the only way people are doing travel shows these days, through food. But you have this really special way that you connect with people, and it is through how they move. And I don't think, and correct me if I'm wrong, you are certainly a trained dancer, but when I watch your show, I don't get the feeling that if someone wasn't, they wouldn't be accepted into someone's dance circle to learn. And when you do open yourself up and really infiltrate more of people's personal, really their cultural spaces, they then open up so much more to you. Like I think you said, all of a sudden you're now being invited to their homes. Now you're being told, okay, we're all meeting tomorrow here. And so it's a way to get to know people and travelers, and you really don't need to be the host of a television show with cameras for people to show you that personal side of themselves. And I love that you've really, with your show, Bare Feet, have opened up that door for people, that this is another way in. It's not sitting in a restaurant or a cafe or going to a museum. It's actually moving in sync with them. And so I love how you do that. I think everyone watch Michaela's show, find it, because it's a different way to travel. And I think we're all looking to connect. We just want to connect with other people, and maybe you didn't realize that this was a way you could do it. You could dance.
And speaking of that,
thank you.
You have some tours coming up. The tour this year.
What? Can I
go? Travel with me. You can dance with me. And we're going to Ireland. We're going to Ireland.
Yeah. So when does your tour leave, Michaela?
It leaves August 30th. It's a 9-day tour, and we go through Dublin. And there's the Burren. There's the gorgeous Burren right there. Mm-hmm. I took that photo. This is in Kilfenora. We do set dancing with Mr. Vaughan, who we feature in our episode, but you also meet him, and there's a trad session. We do penny whistle lesson with Christy Berry in Doolin, right down the road from Gus O'Connor's. Mm-hmm. And that first picture was lunch. It was a private lunch with Chef Beelan from Dingle, the Dingle Peninsula. Yep. And it's a beautiful tour. And Sam and Kevin, we've said this, we talk about this all the time, but I like to say I make new friends by dancing with strangers, right? Mm-hmm. And because I've been to Ireland so many times, I've literally made friends with a lot of people traveling there. And the number one comment I got from any of the folks that have been on our Bare Feet tours, like, you're actually friends with these people. The most special thing is you're bringing us into your world, and we feel like you're introducing us to your friends. And I'm like, yeah, I am introducing you to my friends. These are my friends, and this is why I love coming here. And so it's this really special way that they don't feel, and I'm not going to say they don't feel like a tourist, because we're not locals.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's acknowledged there's a connection to that place, and they don't feel quite so foreign to that place, and they feel like, oh, if you're a friend of Michaela's, then you're a friend of mine, and here, come on into my so that's the goal of the Bare Feet tours. I curate them myself. Everyone is handpicked. They're all people that I love and care for, and most of them I've been friends with for over a decade, and it's just a really beautiful experience. I love it. I really love it.
And you can wear your shoes.
You can wear your shoes. You don't have to do a barefoot.
The Bare Feet tours. Bare Feet tours? What? That's wonderful. I love that. Congratulations. You're going to be a perfect vehicle of just seeing a more personal side to travel, which is our goal in a TV show. But now you're really bringing how many people? What's the total people that you can travel with?
15. We make it small
15.
Group.
Nice.
And what's really funny is when I was first putting together the tours pre-COVID, because I partner with AAA Travel, they're our tour operating partner, and I was pitching it to other tour operators and like, it's too small, we're not going to make enough money, there has to be 30 people, and I'm like, no, I want a small group tour because these moments are so intimate. If there's 30 people trying to get crammed into this little pub, we're going to ruin the experience for the people that live there, not only just the people that are going there. Yeah. And then COVID hit, and we all know what happened. People want those small group tours. They want more authentic experiences. They want to feel safer with smaller groups because of getting sick or whatever may happen. And so it kind of hit at the right time. And now we didn't have to change anything about the tour. It's really beautiful, and they're very intimate, and it's lovely. It's really lovely. So,
well, congratulations.
Yeah,
that's great. It's just about
and
perfect.
you're gonna be back in Ireland filming new episodes this year?
Yeah, we're going to be filming, I think, 2 more episodes this May. We just got the green light.
May.
We're filming.
Beautiful time.
Yeah, gorgeous time. And look, it could be raining, but knock on wood. We've always had sunshine when we're filming. We've gotten like 1 or 2 rain days. I know.
I can't believe you said that.
All around. But it's
I mean, the Irish are an inside people,
Ireland,
really.
Yeah.
They are.
But, rain in Ireland is like, it'll rain for a couple hours, then it stops.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Rainbow.
Yes, exactly. It's not like a deluge, right? Yeah, it's light. Yeah. It's still manageable. Yeah.
So we have 2 royalty of public television here with Samantha and Michaela, and I'd say we're going to have questions. Anyone has any questions for them about making travel television shows on public TV or anything else, please, we'll throw some comments up and ask get some awesome questions answered.
Ask anything. We are here.
Brent, I think Samantha and Michaela should do an episode together sometime.
Absolutely.
I like it.
Yep.
I like it.
One day, what's interesting, Brent, is I think all of us, because I know Michaela's good friends with Rick Steves as well. Back in the day, talking to Andrew Zimmern, it is impossible to get our our schedules to align. Impossible.
Yeah.
And so it's not because no one wants to do this. It's just all of a sudden, okay, my production schedule changed. And now I'm here. And so yes, it has always been thought of. And it's just harder to do than you'd think. But
everyone loves Michaela.
Yes.
Including our good friend Angel Castellanos, the tour guy.
Hey, Angel.
Says way to go.
What's up? Angel's a huge supporter, and he's been to Ireland many times.
Yeah.
He
has family that live in the Burn, I think. Somewhere in County Clare.
Yeah.
He has family there.
Yeah. Yeah. Along the Wild Atlantic Way. You know, this year marks the 10th anniversary of the Wild Atlantic Way.
I'll tell you, I've always wanted to do that whole thing because it really is spectacular. And I have driven it myself, parts of it, and I thought it was really doable. I wasn't, I like driving to begin with, but someone was asking that, like, would you drive it or how was the driving? And I loved it. But the Wild Atlantic Way is phenomenal, and it really allows you to see different parts of the coast, and it's all dramatic and all beautiful. And that's a great idea. But 10 years, is that what it is?
10 years that they officially marked that trail.
Yeah, that whole trail. Yeah.
So our great friend Colleen is acknowledging the work you did, Michaela. We did these Facebook Lives to kind of keep ourselves sane after COVID hit.
Yeah.
But Michaela did these awesome. Was it twice a week? Once a week? I think
at first I was doing it for twice a week. Once on Facebook Live and YouTube Live, and the other was Instagram Live.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And then eventually I just cut it to once a week because it was a lot. It was a lot of.
But you did a particular kind of dance with someone from that place. Once or twice a week.
So it was like a week after lockdown. Maybe, it was about a week or so after lockdown when we realized, okay, this isn't just going to be 2 weeks. And thank you, Colleen, for that. That's really beautiful. I was like, okay, you too. Production was shut down. Everything was shut down. We didn't know what was going to happen. And I had all these people that I had either danced with in past seasons or I was talking to potentially dance with for a future season. And I said, you know what? Everyone's doing these live videos. What if we interview people? And Sam, thank you for we did a couple just like travel talks. So I did one with you. I did one with Rick Steves, Phil Rosenthal. But for the dance ones, it was, okay, let's go to this place because we can't travel. So let's travel virtually there. Let's talk to that person. And then they're going to teach me a little bit of the dance. But I was prompting everyone tuning in. This is your opportunity to try these dances. And our very first one was in Killarney.
Wow.
In Ireland.
Wow.
With our very dear friend Anne-Marie Nelligan. And when I tell you, because it was the first time we were doing lives, for 20 minutes we couldn't figure out how to make it work, and everyone stayed on.
Wow.
All of the fans. Because no one had anything else to do.
Exactly.
And they were just like, and they're like, we're here, we're not going anywhere.
Oh, that's
It was
awesome.
beautiful. It was beautiful. And then we figured it out, and then we did Shanos dancing. And then I had different dancers every week, like flamenco in Madrid. I did samba in Rio de Janeiro. It was beautiful.
I remember you did talking about Carnival, the Trinidad one where my daughter, who was 7 then?
Yeah, she learned.
Was learning how to whine.
Yeah. We were on the porch. We were on the porch.
Yes!
Yep. This is a cultural moment. So Mike Barnett says, Michaela, your show is so unique. How do you scout the groups and places that you want to dance with? You've been to some unique places to dance.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you. By the way, happy Carnival and happy Fat Tuesday today. I keep forgetting that it's Fat Tuesday today. I usually reach out to my community of friends first. Early on, it was really reaching out to the destinations, but it was always based on what are the dances that I want to learn. It was very selfish. I was like, I want to learn tango. Let's go to Buenos Aires. I want to be a K-pop star for a day. Let's go to South Korea. It was like literally, what do I want to do? Now, when I reach out and find groups, it's really, we dig a lot deeper into the stories. And specifically for the last season 5 and 6, we're featuring cultures that are underrepresented in media. So BIPOC voices, Indigenous voices, LGBTQ community, the disability community, all through dance and music and the arts. And within New York City, right? Because we couldn't travel. So those 2 seasons are all New York based. But then season 7, which we're working on now, is back to international destinations. But we are focusing still on destinations, and mainly stories that are underrepresented, right? So that's our goal.
Yeah.
That's always our goal. Yeah. But I usually reach out to my own community first. And then it sort of builds this web of love, like it's amazing. Oh, you should talk to this person. You should talk to that person. So it's really wonderful. It's really great.
All right. Do you have one there? There's a lot of great questions. Thank you. Keep them coming.
Thank you, Mike.
Sure. Yeah.
We're having a weird audio issue that I hope is just us, not you. So let's just keep talking. I'll figure it out while we're doing that.
Can you hear me?
Years of travel. Yeah, I can hear you, but it's a bit of static, but it might be us. So I need to figure that out. What are some of the top 3 to 5 places that have stood out?
Both of us? All of us?
Michaela, you go. You're our guest. Yeah.
Well, because it is Carnival today. One of the most amazing places I've been to is Guadeloupe Islands, the French Caribbean. Aside from Ireland obviously is top of the list because I go so many times. Oh, I can hear myself now.
Just swatch.
Okay.
You still there?
Okay. Yeah, can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah, and Jeff said there was no static. That's good.
Oh, great. Guadeloupe Islands are incredible. They're part of the French Caribbean, and Carnival there is really different from, let's say, Barbados Crop Over or Trinidad and Tobago. Or it's not soca music, it's not pre-recorded music. It's all live bands, and they have Carnival bands, whereas more of the showy feathers and they're dancing sort of choreographed pieces down the road. But then you also have these marches with bands called mas bands, and they're powerful Black resistance Guadeloupean bands that is just drumming guoca drums and mas drums, and it is thousands of people marching in the street to a rhythm, to this fast-paced rhythm, right through like an army almost. It's beautiful. It's incredible. So like that I've never seen before, and I would recommend to anyone, if you ever want to see another unique carnival, go to Guadeloupe Islands. It was so powerful, so powerful. And I cry a lot on the show, so I was like always crying. Always crying. Good and bad,
That's awesome.
Ridiculous.
Let's see, we have Wilden here. Do y'all plan some things ahead for future seasons or try to keep focus on the current season you are working on? Well, then I'll answer that for us. We think about future seasons as well. And I think Michaela can chime in, talk about this as well. But there's so much work just to get overseas. So you want to get as much as you possibly can. And then we'll even think about, what's another show we could do? So we always do like a food show, an international food show, or a booze show. We actually think ahead so we can get scenes for that show, so we can have a separate episode. And it's a way just to budget our money better. We've gone a far distance. It's a lot to bring a crew. So we're always thinking how we can actually kind of extend that show and create a different show from it, or it becomes take out a scene and make it a part of another show. So yes, we are. So when we're shooting season 7, we're thinking about season 8. And when we're shooting season 8, we're thinking about season 9. And it's in the planning process as well. So yes, do you feel the same way, Michaela? Are you thinking of, okay, how much can I get out of this? It's beyond just the episode that you want to plan.
Well, first of all, I have to say, I'm not Samantha Brown. So when I pick up the phone, especially when I started the show, I was really like, whoever will help me, let's go, let's do this.
Yeah.
But there are the conversations have gotten much easier now that people actually, I have fans and it's grown and it's very lovely.
Because
but to
now you are Michaela Malazzo.
Exactly.
Hey. We did it.
Yeah.
No, it's grown quite a bit. I'm very grateful. But 14 years later, since I had the idea for this, and I think that's what a lot of people don't understand. And you guys know this. It's like the idea of an overnight success or whatever that may look like. It's like you don't see all of the work that came to prepare for that. And when we do seasons, most of our seasons have themes. So, and they come up with like season 3, everyone I really listen to our fans. I reach out to my fans and say, do you have recommendations of places to go or people to feature? But everyone felt very connected to my origin story of our very first episode was with Nonna Pina and my family and our family's hometown. And I thought, well, people feel connected when they see their own culture on TV. So why don't we figure out, I only know I'm Italian, so why don't I get my DNA tested? And that was the impetus for that.
Yeah.
Right. And it was this very personal story. Post-COVID, same thing was we can only travel in New York. So we don't think too far in advance. We're really building out the stories, again, like you said, because we're fundraising. I don't know if a lot of our fans realize this. We have to raise
Always
all our own
fundraising.
money.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't get a dime from public television or PBS or Create, none of that. And so, yeah, we are being as economical with our budgets and our time. But I'll have to say, like, some of the destinations that are going to be featured in season 7, I've been having conversations with for years, and it's all about timing. It's whether like they decide that these destinations feel like they can help support, or we find a right group, or we find the right sponsor, or whatever it is. It's not just all of a sudden everything kind of falls into place. It's like the Korea episode. It took me 4 years. I was talking to folks in Korea, and it's this ongoing conversation. So
and I think that just for Jeff, that somewhat answers your question too, Jeff. What's the process deciding where to go for a season? The biggest factor is budget. Right? How much money do we have? And then it becomes, okay, all of a sudden, like you said, there's all this planning, and then finally just one thing falls into place. And when that one destination falls into place, we're like, okay, what's a direct flight from there? Because direct flights are big for us. We, as a small production crew, do not have the money that, say, a Discovery Channel show would have, where you could go from, California all the way to Africa and then go to Norway after that. We have to be very strategic in where we're going, direct flights, so we can get there. All of our crew can get there, all of our equipment. So it becomes just this little, okay, what's next? And I mean, you could speak more towards that, but we definitely don't have like, hey, we can go anywhere. No, we have to be very strategic with our money, our time, insurance policies. All these logistics that, can we get vans? In the United States, right after the pandemic, one of the hardest things was to get minivans, crew vans. We couldn't rent them; they were just gone because the rental companies sold their fleet. So it was just like these things that you would never know. It was the worst. We didn't know how we were going to move around.
And I called 6 weeks ahead of time to order 3 vans. Like, we don't have vans. Like,
so it's these things that come up that we're as small production crews. Yeah, as you know, it's like you're the one handling it. We don't have a team of people. It's just kind of us. But So.
Well, also going back to the destinations, but also logistics, is we a lot of times feature festivals or holidays. So sometimes it's not even like, this month is a good time to film. Like we are going to, I think, be filming in New Zealand for Matariki, which is the Maori New Year's celebration.
Oh my gosh. And so things are expensive then too.
Right. But it's also a very specific time. It's like a window of 3 days that there's this festival that happens. So we have to film so for us, it's not, okay, this is, we can do back to back and let's do a string of
exactly.
Of shoots. It's like,
where's this festival?
Really dependent. Yeah.
All right.
So
Brent asks, Michaela, have you always been a dancer? And what is your favorite type of dance? And don't say the YMCA. We already saw you do that one.
Pretty good. I mean, not great, but pretty good.
Sorry. Yeah. Not a pro village person. I've always been a dancer. I tell this story a lot. When I was growing up as a kid, I was always like the first person on the dance floor at weddings. I come from a big Italian family, and I was always the last one off the dance floor. Like I was a flower girl when I was 3 years old. That was like the big, with the hoop, in the 80s with the big hoop dress. And I was dancing so much my father had to rip the hoop off of my dress because it was like dragging and I kept falling. But I just kept dancing. And my nickname, one of my uncles gave me a nickname called Tutto Pepe, which means all pepper, because I just wouldn't stop dancing. And then my parents saw it.
Pepper?
Yeah, Tutto Pepe. All pepper. And
That's
then he still calls me that. He's like, tutto bene.
I love that, all pepper.
And then they put me in dance school, and then I played music. I pick up, I have rhythm, and I love men's dances and cultures because they're always more, they're a little more challenging because traditionally men were dancing to impress women, right? So they're showing off and they're doing all these fun, crazy dance moves. So in general, I love learning men's moves versus women's dances because they're usually more like coquettish. And I'm just like, I'm stockier. I'm very competitive, kind of like you, Sam.
Yeah,
but I love tutto bene. I'm tutto bene. So I really love rhythmic dances too. So that's why I really love Ireland, like sean-nós or flat footing and clogging or Irish step dancing. I love making sound or tap dancing because I am also a musician. So it's like you're also part of the musical component with your body.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Never thought of that like that way. That the masculine side of a dance is a little more showy, a little more in power, while the women always have to be sort of the shy, quiet ones, that sort of thing. But I like that. That's
I'm not shy. You know
take.
that. I'm not shy.
I know, exactly.
Yeah, Michaela, our producer friend Stacy asked your advice for women going into the field, and I with all the awesome storylines that you have going on, you just got back from Ireland, you're doing the St. Pat's parade, your tour you're running later in the year. But I totally forgot to mention the Independent Producers Association that you put together.
Oh yeah.
That, after COVID, so many people find Michaela.
Michaela makes things happen, and people seek her out. And I've always told her she needs to not pick up the phone as often.
That's why I put it all on the website. I put it on a website, so if people do reach out, I'm like, here it is. It's free.
Here it is.
Sorry, I don't have time.
Yeah.
What's the website?
So it's ipapublicmedia.com. It is for the Independent Producers Association of Public Media. It's basically a one-stop shop. It's free. It's all free information that during COVID we put it up. It's still relevant. It still helps. I still get emails from producers I've never met that email me and say, hey, I don't know, you don't know me, but I've used every single thing on the website. And now my series airs on public television. It's on PBS.
Oh my gosh.
So it works. Yeah, it works. And it's a basically teaches or shows, because the distribution model and, as we know, the production model and fundraising model for public television is an entirely different beast. And as a woman, do it. Public television is pretty much the only platform where women are able to be the hosts and executive producers of their shows, because we were told we couldn't on other platforms. It's ridiculous. So we have to do it ourselves. And here we are. And Samantha, you won for Best Host, a Daytime Emmy, and the both of you won for Best Show as executive producers. And it's your own show. I mean, that's huge. That to me is like the ultimate,
Yeah.
So
I agree. I think, and so if they go, so Michaela, they can go to Travel Barefeet. Stacy could go to travelbarefeet.com to find that information.
No, I don't put that on my website. It's on ipapublicmedia.com.
Okay. ipapublicmedia.com.
IPA like the beer, right?
I was going
to. And Independent Producers Association, but it both
got
works.
it. And they're all hoppy. They're
there you go. Good.
All right, wow, this has been great, Michaela. Thank you so much for joining us. We talked for an hour.
Watching your Ireland episode, I was like, I just came back, and I'm like, I want to go back now, but I'm going back in like a month, so it's not bad at all.
Oh my gosh, and thank you. This was our last Facebook Live, so you ended it perfectly.
Yeah, I think, we're going to be probably starting this back up again in November, December of this year to celebrate the season that's coming out now as we gear up to the next season that we haven't even started shooting yet, but that's our
coming together.
It's hard to believe that's kind of where we are right now. But it's been a fun 13 weeks when we did this together. I really enjoyed every night, once a week, having these conversations and talking about the beautiful show we make.
Yeah, I agree. Great.
Yeah, thank you. And thanks Michaela, for joining us.
Michaela, thanks for joining us. Everyone, thank you for being here. Every one of our Facebook Lives, we will miss you. Please stay tuned and keep watching Places to Love as it airs, and we will send out the announcement when we start this, when we get the show up on the road again.
Yeah. Great. Thanks again.
Bye, everyone. Bye, Michaela.
You can